Hey, what's up everyone? Dr. Zleek here. Today we're looking at the Ascent, the hard track for Trials Evolution, also part of the achievement for Hard the Hard Way, which is beating this track with the Rattler, the 125 as the beginner bike. But we'll just be doing the Phoenix today because that is the best bike to get platinum on this track, which is of course why you're watching this video, I'm guessing. And just the first tip I have to say is there's a lot of bumps and little finicky parts of this track that are very temperamental, and you'll probably find struggling with the most, like just the amount of little rocks and pebbles you seem to run over. So bear with me. I'll try to do the best I can as describing how I do it. You just want to do it like imagine you're on your bike and you just have that very soft, like little adjustments you make as you're going down. You know, if you're dirt biking or whatever, if you've ever done it in real life, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, what you want to do is you want to go leaning forward immediately, and then as soon as you get to this hill here, you'll want to lean back, and that'll bring your front tire up. And then you'll just want to lean forward, and that'll kind of hop you up here, as well as just kind of getting you just over the top of this rock. And then just you want to get down as soon as possible. Lean into your back tire. Hopefully it lands somewhere around this back tire. And that's where the smoothest part is, because there's a little gap between the rock there that'll trip you up if you hit it just wrong or whatever. Excuse me. Anyways, once we go from there, just adjusting something here. Okay, so once we go from there, we'll just get up and over this ledge. We'll lean back through this little pallet area here. And then, as always with Ascent, as this track is called, you're going to want to lean forward as you're going up the hill. And generally what I like to do it is where it transitions from the pallets to the actual hill. You want to actively hold forward, and then your front wheel 9 times out of 10 start coming up. And as you see there, my back wheel kind of kicks, and then sometimes, and that'll just trip you up. And you'll see that happen a lot too, where your back wheel kind of comes off the ground. If you watch it here, it'll start spinning, just kick you up. So you want to actively hold until you start kind of leaning back, and then you want to if you can tell your thing is slipping, you might want to let go of the gas and just for a brief moment keep leaning forward, and then get gas on again once you get traction, if that makes sense. Something like this. Oh, not like that. And then what it does is it'll just let your bike to continue to use momentum land on this flat part. There's a little bit of a dent here, so if you hit that, you'll kind of bounce. Try to land past the red link sign on the wall in the background there, or fence, or whatever you want to call it. Alright, so this part is actually fairly tricky. It's not really that hard to jump, but I know for me, landing on it and getting that momentum to stay with you is sort of difficult, especially if you land on the pipe there, because it is a transition and there's that little gap where your bike can slip and lose some of its traction. And you can do that too, which is what I used to do a lot, where I would just land and it kind of push me forward on the dirt, and then I pick up here and lean back, and that's on a hill. So personally, my best way to do it is to just you can either lean back and try to go forward, but usually you'll get too much height. Usually I just like to hold forward the whole time, maybe push forward actively at the last second, and then what you want to try to do is land on your back wheel and then immediately bunny hop, and then I'll just kind of skip that whole dirt section. You won't necessarily get a lot of momentum, but you will be able to skip the next section and land on a smoother surface, hopefully. So it's back, forward, and then you land up here. Alright, so once you're here, you don't really need to use too much gas. You can, if you really try, to skip this whole thing. However, I find it is kind of counterproductive because it's better just to bounce off the tires. You'll get further up on that wood pallet, like so. You'll land much higher up, and you'll have to deal with accelerating up an incline. Excuse me. Alright, so it's pretty simple. You want to use about 50% speed or so, or maybe even just a short burst, and then let go of the trigger. That'll do it as well. And as always with these little lips here, you'll just want to lean back to get that front wheel up, and then lean forward, and that'll give you some height, as well as just getting your whole bike over the jump sooner. And as long as you can land your back wheel firmly on the top of it, try not to catch it on any of the ledges. Even without using gas or bunny hopping, I can just simply roll off onto that ledge pretty much. Well, I did the first time, and I'm not going to be able to. But you can see how even without gas or bunny hop, I can still just land. So if you do use gas and a bunny hop, which of course you should be doing, you should land at least halfway up this. Pardon me, by the way, I do have a little bit of a sore throat, so as my past couple of videos you may have heard, but hopefully it is a little bit better today. Alright, so once we're up here, we're just going to keep pushing forward up onto that. And actually, if you land correctly, you should just be able to lean back, which is fine, and then bunny hop near the top, which will just kind of allow you to skip this section, or skip that obstacle, I guess. You're always skipping a section. And so that's just landing, and that'll give you the maximum momentum in the next checkpoint. If you just decide to push up and land somewhere down here off of a jump, that's fine too. So I'll go back and explain it to you now. So pushing forward. Landing that back will get traction again, pushing forward on the jump, landing back, pushing forward again. Small jump. So if you do this, something like this, where you just push forward and land the whole time, that's just fine too. But personally, I think it's a little bit faster and a little bit easier just to kind of do that mini bunny hop on the ramp, because that'll just kind of get you on that downhill section of the next little area. And that way you don't have to worry about balancing and stuff, you can just do that one bunny hop. It's like a very light version of the wreck where you do that incline bunny hop. But either way, you get more speed on this one. So there's also a few ways to do this jump. There's the good way, which I'm not very good at, but I managed to somewhat pull off my best time, where you just push forward at the last second as you're getting onto that ramp. And you should be able to carry momentum to the next obstacle. And you should be able to land up on this log here or slide past on the pallet. I am not very good at doing this. My best advice to you is just to keep practicing. And if you land down here, just on a practice run, just go back down here. Those things will fly there again. And then just try to keep doing it. Like I said, I'm not very good at it, so I would check out better people's replays than mine for that particular section. Obviously there's no commentary along with that, but it is pretty easy to see just one jump what they're doing. I just happen to not be very good at it. Alright, anyways, if you want to do the easier route, like I usually do, you just, lean forward, and then you let go of gas once you're about a third of the way up this ramp, and that should be plenty of moment. Oh, well then. It's one of the first times it's ever happened to me, actually. Anyways, once we get up here, we'll just kind of let go of gas, and you should be able to land on this tire. Right there, what I did was I actually cut my back tire on there and just tapped the brakes, and that just kind of let me roll it onto the tire. Just make your best judgment on that. And from here, just hold back until you're about halfway up, and then you can just push forward, and then make sure to get that back wheel down on that tree stump for your best escape plan. And the later you hold back, it's the better for getting clearance, but like as you just saw me do a second ago, you will get quite some air time, which can eat up some clock. So just kind of use your best judgment. Like I said, it's usually about halfway up for me, as that's the soonest I can get that back wheel down. And then from here, what you want to do is get onto the actual log here, right where the checkpoint starts. And then this is where the big obstacle is for the Rattler achievement, but very simple on the Phoenix. And so just do a basic bunny hop. You should have no problems landing this, especially if you take it from further down. And then from here, you'll just want to push into this hill slightly and let go of your gas. Basically, you want to land as soon as possible here because you want to get a lot of speed on the next jump. If you go from that last checkpoint and just full speed it through this hill, you'll probably get way too much air. You'll land down here and not be able to recover very well, and then you can either crash or not make a very good jump. So what you want to do for this is lean back into this ramp. Don't bunny hop. You don't want to bunny hop on this jump because, you can to get to the next checkpoint, but the way I do this is I lean back, I don't bunny hop, I land on my back wheel, and then bunny up there, and that allows me to skip that whole tire thing, which can be very useful and save you a lot of time. So again, on that previous jump, that's no bunny hop. You should land on your back wheel near the bottom of this ramp, and then bunny hop from this ramp up onto this next log. If you can't do that, that's fine. I would just lean into this. You can even bunny hop from the last jump, as long as you can try to land flat on this tire. Lean back, push forward once your back tire hits the big tire, or the inward tire, I guess they're both big tires. So if you land here, just do the little like this, and you can land there. The other alternative is you can try, if you have enough speed, to hop and get over. That can be quite difficult and annoying to do though, especially if you land funny. My key of advice for that is to try to make your back wheel get some traction on that previous log for that last bump, and then as soon as your front wheel clears, lean back to get your back tire down. Even if your back tire lands on this log, having traction, you'll be able to push off of it into the next checkpoint. If you go from that previous checkpoint and you land on this ramp and just want to hop, it's the same basic concept. Is you just want to lean back to get that front tire up, full throttle, and then the advantage to doing it from this log, from that last checkpoint, by skipping the tires, is you generally have more momentum and you have a higher speed. Also, bunny hopping is quite easier from this position, and this just allows you to just hop and get that front or back tire, almost immediately over. So here's what I'm talking about too, with a lot of bumps. You go from this tire to this log, or I guess I should say sideways log to a straightforward log. And then this little ramp down to dirt. This dirt's all bumpy, and then it goes up to these things. So this is what I'm talking about when you just want to kind of watch your tires and make sure at least the back one is on ground at all times, and hopefully both. But once you get to this checkpoint, I would just recommend leaning forward this whole time. There's not really any advantage of leaning back. And then what this does is just lets you land up here on this pipe and then push off to the next checkpoint. Now this is what a lot of people struggle with when you're trying to finish off the good run of this track, at least in my experience. I know when I first started applying this track, I would just do this and flip over or not even be able to get traction up. I would just end up hopping down like this. It's actually fairly simple. You want to hit, as you can see here, it goes from these little pallets to the stone back to the pallets. You want to hit that stone with a nice big bunny hop, and that'll get you the majority of the way up that ramp. So you just want to land as soon as possible here, leaning back the whole time, full throttle, and then once your back tire is just about to exit that little stone thing, just want to do a nice big bunny hop. You'll have plenty of forward momentum to get plenty of the way up that hill, and then as always with inclines, as I say in all my videos, to land on an incline, back tire into front tire. So you want to land on the back tire first, and then lean into the front tire, or you can do so simultaneously if you're experienced, or if you just get a good landings like that. But that's basically what you want to do, is you want to land on your back tire and then lean into your front tire. You should instantly get traction. I mean, I can do this and just barely feather and just pretty much stand still. I mean, feathering is a little more complicated than that, but you get what I mean. Once you do it, if you want to practice it, this is a good way to practice, especially for intermediate players, just because it's such a not very steep incline, and it's also a very large surface to practice on, because you can land pretty much anywhere on this ramp. If you manage to clear this somehow, I'd be impressed and want to see that. Anyways, what you want to do once you land there, so enough of the practice tips, let's go back to the track tips. Once you land up there and you're landing in your front wheel, just give yourself enough gas to where you land on this stone, and you want to lean back. It's similar to incline, you want to lean back while keeping gas held down, and then as your back tire transitions into the grass hill, lean forward, and you want to hold gas and forward the whole time and just go over the finish line. And also on that last hill, just again make sure that your back tire is always on the ground. If it's off the ground, just try to let go of gas a little bit to get traction back and then push over. Also in my replay, you'll see me just kind of hop up onto that ledge and then bunny hop over the finish line. That wasn't necessarily the best thing I could do. I just haven't beaten my time using what I just told you guys about that, so you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. And like I said, it's just best to do the full speed up the ramp, because you will get there quite a bit faster. Alright, okay, so let's check out the replay. So currently this replay is 36.354 seconds, 0 faults of course, ranked 603rd overall. Let's go ahead and take a look. As always, we'll look at the slow motion first before the full speed. So as I do with a lot of my videos, I don't explain it, I just explain the best way to do it the quickest way, especially for not so advanced players. These are supposed to be for intermediate players trying to become advanced players. So in my tutorial, I just gave, I do say lean forward first and then back. Just for my time, I'm just able to lean back and skip that initial lean forward, but it accomplishes the same exact thing. It's the same principle, it's just a little bit easier way of doing it without worrying of spinning over. So you'll see me lean back, get that front tire up, leaning forward, and then just getting enough gas to get up and over this ledge. I do pivot on my front tire just to get onto this big tire. It's roughly the same thing. And you'll see me lean forward as I go onto that dirt down there. And so you'll see me, if you watch, you should watch the right stick, or left stick, excuse me, in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. It'll show you how I lean and when I let go. So right there, let go of gas and leaning. and then get back on gas again, and that'll just launch me in this part. So it's very useful to use those tools, especially if you add me as a friend. You can watch the replays or even search, or if you can really want to scroll down on the global leaderboards, that's okay too. It just might take you a while to get however many spots down. So anyways, I was stroking myself too much there. So we'll get down back here, only leaning back, pushing forward into the pipe. And you'll see me land on my back wheel and then pushing forward into it to get that traction. I'm leaning back again already just to be able to bunny hop and skip that dirt section. You'll see I cleared the dirt pretty much entirely. Just get enough gas to get on this pallet. You'll see me lift that front wheel forward and then push forward. And then you'll see me I bounce off my front tire. You'll see it compress a little bit. That gives me a little bit more hop. It's not entirely necessary. And for some reason I don't bunny hop. Would be better for me to do. And you'll just see me do that hop over here, land as soon as possible. A little bit too late for my liking. And this is where you'll see me do that thing where I'm not very good at, where I'm just leaning into this ramp, and I do manage to have enough speed and momentum to just not even get up there, but get enough to where I can barely get up there. And so like I said, you might want to watch better replays to see that. It's just the basic bunny hop. But that's what I did, so. Alright, and then you'll see me use just enough gas to get up and over here and land pretty soon. Shouldn't have bunny hop there, but that's alright. Managed to get a secondary hop on that off there. So see me again, as soon as you can, get that back tire down, leaning back on it for maximum traction. And you'll see me just kind of wiggling around the leaning stick to be able to balance myself. Landing as soon as possible. Doing that bunny hop up there. Landing, pushing up, landing again on the stone, pushing into the hill. And this is where you see me do that thing where I said where I just kind of land here and then bunny hop. I didn't really get a good jump at all. It might have been better than the full speed one, or the full speed just up and over, but you know, it's my best time. I haven't beaten it, so it's obviously good for a reason. Alright, anyways guys, I'm going to leave you with the full speed replay. Feel free to check it out. Any comments or requests or whatever, as always, on comments or Twitter is the best way to reach me. I don't really post actively on the Facebook page anymore, so I'll probably get rid of that link in the description. But yeah guys, thanks for watching as always. Look out for fusion videos soon. I have platinums on all but one track, and that should be taken care of pretty quickly, and those should be up pretty soon. Just a little bit delayed because I'm playing it on my friend's Xbox One because I don't have one, so yeah. And as always with my videos, I leave out of time descriptions, so it makes it seem like this video is really old or really new, but you guys can figure out when I made this by guessing if you want, so a little fun game for you to play. And I talked through the whole replay. What am I doing? Anyways, thanks again guys for watching and dealing with my terrible jokes and antics, and I'll make sure to see you guys next time.